Nick Tukowski, are you ready? Yes! Right Club audience, are you ready?
Yes!
Let me know. Okay. An open letter from the personification of fate to the denizens of Earth. Dictated but not read. Dear children. Hello. How are you? Don't answer. I already know everything about you. You see, you're a part of me, the way a tiny blemish is a part of your face. It's obnoxious, it festers, but in the end, it goes away on its own. That's you. I, however, am substantive, massive. I encompass everything ever. I am the rising and the setting sun. I am the wind. I am the swirling eddies of antimatter at the furthest reaches of the galaxy. I am a giant machine. I am a giant machine set in motion eons ago by an unseen and ineffable force that the religious among you call God and start wars over, and the secular among you call the universe and throw elite, stuffy academic cocktail parties wherein you pretend to oppose the wars and make fun of the religious. Oh man, you're all assholes. I'm here to explain to you once and for all the way things work. Take note, I'm not explaining myself out of some misguided sense of obligation to you. Let's be crystal clear on this point. I truly, honestly don't give a flying fuck what you think of me. Again, I'm really big, and you're not. But ever since you guys became sentient and started mewling about equality and justice and fighting for what's right, I felt the urge to correct you. God, I miss your dark ages. I'll explain the way of things using a simple parable. Once upon a time, in the faraway kingdom of Fort Lauderdale, there lived a prince by the name of Ryan Levin, who was heir to a massive jewelry fortune and behaved in accordance with his station in life, throwing massive balls, traveling around the world, and having late-night alcohol-induced drag races through city streets. One night, during such a drag race, Prince Ryan's Porsche struck and killed two British businessmen who happened to be silly enough to think that walking around in Fort Lauderdale would do anything but end in death. Ryan, recognizing his terrible error, drove off and gave his keys to his court jester, whom he later tried to frame. But the law caught up with Prince Ryan, and he was dragged before the mighty and wise Judge Barbara McCarthy. All seemed lost, but Prince Ryan's parents, the king and queen, hired the prince a lawyer who also happened to be the judge's former deputy campaign manager. The judge and the defense came to an agreement that the prince would write a check to the businessmen's families, and instead of serving time in the dark dungeons of Florida, would instead be grounded at his parents' beachfront condo. In this way was justice served. Now, who can tell me the moral of the story? Don't. It's simple. Prince Ryan's place in this world was one of leisure, not toil, and so he was punished accordingly. True story, by the way. Prince Ryan was really fantastically wealthy, like 50 times richer than any of you will ever be. At least his parents were. Florida sentencing guidelines would have any of you in jail for up to 30 years per dead Brit, but then you're poor. That's your station in this life. See, it's not Prince Ryan's fault that he's wealthy, any more than it's your fault that you're not. He wasn't given the choice. You may be grousing about fairness at this point. Why are some people born to a shiny, glimmering world of endless possibility while everyone else has to suffer famine, war, murder, fear, and the DMV on a steady march to a certain shallow grave? Why does Rebecca Black go unpunished for Friday? Why does she in fact thrive? While the very bearer of this letter is doomed to die alone in a pool of his own urine and sadness. Is it because fate is an insufferable dick? No, of course not. Not at all. The real truth is, I don't care. I'm completely unfeeling. I'm a fucking machine. I don't have a dog in this fight. But really, when it comes down to it, neither do you. What will happen to you is already written on the subatomic level. Your particles follow my law, a very real physical law, and behave in a particular way because that is how they're built to behave. And so are the atoms that make up your molecules, and the molecules that make up your cells follow suit. The synapses in your brains fire because they are built to fire. Your behavior is pre-programmed, and the programming becomes more sophisticated as you butt up against other pre-programmed beings. Your signals mix, other beings are creative, the loudest ideas win because the most people hear them. The concept of free will only exists because the right brain cells rubbed against each other somewhere in the distant past and some ape had an epiphany. But it's an illusion, my children. There is no choice, and there is no justice. Nobody, not Ryan Levin or British businessmen or you or Rebecca Black, none of you get what you deserve. You get what you're given. and nothing more. Everything else is just perception, which, sorry, I have a hand in too. Some of you will comfort yourself with this knowledge, finding solace with your place in the universe. Some of you will rage against it hard, wearing themselves down to a nub. I would say the choice is yours, but we all know better than that, don't we? Farewell, my beautiful and dim-witted children. We shall, as always, meet again. Signed, Fate. Thank you.